Welcome back, Advice Pod. My name is Kyle. This is Raysean. This is Noah. And we are going to be doing some relationship advice today. For some reason, we've designated ourselves qualified to give relationship advice. I, 60-year-old female, just found out my late husband, male 62, had a years-long affair and may have a 10-year-old child. How do I tell my 4 grown kids? Oh shit, there's an update at the bottom. My husband died 3.5 years ago. I always thought we had such a good marriage. We rarely argued, always supported each other. We both worked and raised 4 kids together. In 2012, I started a master's program, so was away from home a few evenings a week. Our kids were all grown and moved away from home. My husband was so supportive. When I had tons of homework on the weekends, he would leave the house for the whole day so I could work undisturbed. Oh, lady. Now I know why he never resented leaving me to go visit, quote unquote, his friends. He wasn't visiting friends. He was spending time with his girlfriend. Make sure you like the video. I never had a clue. This is how I found out.
Wrong fucking segue.
Yep. Today, I finally cleaned out his nightstand. I have cleaned everything else the last 3.5 years. His dresser, closet, tool shed, all his stuff from the garage. But today, I started emptying his nightstand. I found so much stuff. Cards and notes from her. A very expensive men's watch and gold chain necklace I didn't buy him and never saw him wear either. The notes were all signed Fred, with a heart around it. I pulled out his phone. That I had saved. I charged it and opened it. I searched through all the messages for women's names. Checked all the messages. All good. Then I noticed a Fred in his contacts. Fred was actually a Freda, about 40. All the pictures she'd sent him showed her as quite fit and pretty.
Oh.
Everything was dated starting in 2012 while I was at school. Some of the pictures were in my home. He had her there while I was at school getting a degree. Many of the pictures were at her home with her kids. Then there was the ultrasound. And her asking him when he was going to tell me. When was he getting divorced? She wanted this child to have its real father. Kept telling her soon that he loved her but didn't want to hurt me. I couldn't stop reading. I felt like my heart was being ripped out of my chest. The last 9 years of my married life was a lie. The last messages, ultrasound/demands, were late 2018. He told her he couldn't leave me because I had cancer. He needed to concentrate on me and make what we thought were my last months good. They agreed to go no contact for a while. He was the best husband during that time, coming home early to help and cook dinner, going to every appointment, staying with me in the hospital, supporting me, and was my rock. I had a great surgeon and medical team, and the cancerous tumors were removed. In April 2019, he got a text from her with a baby picture. It said, "I have a son. You have an ugly, fat, sick wife. Enjoy your life. I'm back with my ex." Jesus.
Damn.
There was no response from him to her and no other exchanges. I have been crying off and on all day. My daughter lives with me and keeps asking what is wrong. I told her it was really hard cleaning out her dad's nightstand. Should I leave it at that or destroy the image she has of her dad with what I found? My 4 kids have a little brother out there. Should I tell them or leave it be and play ignorant if he ever tries to contact us? I thought I had moved on. I recently started dating and have felt in a good place, but now this. I just don't know how to handle this devastating situation. So you want me to read the update now? Or do you want to read the update after we chat about it a little bit?
We should read the update. We should. So? Yeah. Like because that's like the rest half of the information. Like we might be saying something like
this update was made fairly recently because this update was not here when I picked this thing just a few hours earlier this afternoon.
I mean, yes, but then now that there is information available to us now, we do have to read that because if we're going to talk about it and it's like right there.
I like your thought process, Noah. I'm in agreement with you. Update. I called her number last night. No longer in service. I mean, it has been about 5 years since that last 2019 text message. So this morning, I called the company where my late husband worked. Talked with the office manager. The woman who had guided me through the hoops for getting insurance and last checked after my husband passed away. She said the woman does still work there. Oh, shit. All right. Fred works at... Okay. Then, shaking, I asked her if she had a 4 to 5 year old son. She hesitated, then said yes. I asked if she knew about that woman and my husband, and she did. Quote, everyone knew. Oh, this poor lady. Then, through my tears, I asked if she was claiming that child as my husband's. The manager said at first she did, but after the baby was born and was obviously part African American, my husband was not, that she admitted she lied and was going to tell me about the years long affair if he didn't pay her money. He knew it wasn't his, but paid her so our family wasn't torn up. Oh my God. The manager said at the funeral she did not come with her or the other 2 to 3 people that came. She came in her own and then they made her leave. I feel like I'm missing something here. The manager said, all right, so the work manager that she spoke to at her husband's old job said that she did not come with her or the other 2 to 3 people that came from work to the funeral. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
She
Yep.
came in on her own and they made her leave. Oh, I don't remember seeing her except in a couple of pictures after, and she signed the book. They realized at the funeral my family didn't know anything when my kids welcomed her and chose to keep quiet. She did try to apologize. I just said thank you and hung up. Now I know. He chose me. I will see a therapist to help my newly formed grief and anger and pain, but my kids, all in their mid-30s to early 40s, could be spared the pain of knowing what their father did. Oh, lady. They will just keep believing he was a devoted father and husband, human like everyone else. I am going to let it go. Thank you for being my sounding board. That
Well,
might
he
be the
didn't have
most
the
depressing.
kids, so
Yeah, I mean that. I just want to go on record. I think that's the most depressing post. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the most depressing post we've ever done on this show.
sound like a movie.
It sounded like a movie starring Jamie Lee Curtis, man. Jamie Lee Curtis could rock this role.
So I guess should you tell your kids and everything about this situation? Well, I think that was your main question at the end.
Honestly, I think
What
her update was enough for us to. She's not going to do it, right? Like our advice would be either do or don't tell your kids, and she's decided not to.
yeah,
That's
I
pretty
feel like
ballsy, man. Good for her.
I feel like
Good
I
for
think
her.
that's a good image because I mean he did make a mistake, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like it was his kid and he was doing his best to kind of like keep it from ever really getting to you while you were going through your stuff. So
It wasn't his kid, though. It wasn't his kid.
yeah, but he still was trying to like keep that like he had an
paid her off to be
affair
like,
and
shut the fuck up.
everything.
Don't. My wife's got cancer. Please shut up. Here's some money for your kid. Like that's what it sounds like happened.
Okay, I will say that like if she does end up telling the kid her own kids, that is so saying the right thing to do is kind of hard here because it's so understandable why she doesn't want to spare them why she doesn't want them to go through that pain that she's going through right now. I think the healthy decision that she did was recognizing that she has a lot of grief, anger, and pain. She wanted to wait to know what to do, and she's going to therapy to process that. Like, whether or not she makes a decision should be after that. Like, if she's going through the anger, pain, and grief right now, I don't think that it's good for her to tell her kids now.
Yes, because she'll do it from her own, freshly wounded perspective. You're right though. If she gets with a good therapist and they work through it, and it gets to she comes to the decision that like I need to tell my kids, they need to know. Then you do it then after you've kind of dealt with it yourself a little bit. Don't tell them fresh off finding this information. It's cool that she did all this fucking super secret spy reconnaissance stuff, but I think the other day we did a segment about trying to separate the art from the artist, right? Bill Cosby was a big one that we talked about. And my point in doing that segment was when you learn about all these terrible things somebody's done while they were making this fucking art that you loved, right? It's exhausting to have to take in that new shitty information about them and have to go re-examine all the things you loved about them through the context of or through the lens of they were secretly a shitty fucking person. And I think that's a personal version. This is a personal version of that same kind of situation. If this woman goes and tells her adult children, hey, you know, when I was going through cancer and all that stuff, or I was going to get my college degree and then I got cancer, well, your dad was actually fucking around and you might have a brother. That this would have been prior to the update, obviously. She found out that it's not her brother or not her husband's son, but those kids would have to do exactly that. They'd have to go back through their last 40 years of life with their dad, everything they've known about their dad, and been like, well, my dad cheated on my mom in the last 10 years. Was he doing it when I was a kid too? You just like, you re-examine everything to the new context or that new lens. And it's fucking exhausting on an entertainment level. Never mind when it's one of your own goddamn parents. Like, I think this woman's a fucking true blue, honest saint for, honest to God saint for choosing to spare her kids having to think that way about their dad for the rest of their lives.
I hate comparing it to the Bill Cosby thing though, because like with Bill Cosby, like we should know
Of
that he did
course,
that.
of course, bad
Yes.
comparison, but I only use that because that's the, you know, the examples that we were talking about in the art
Yeah.
versus the artist thing. So it's
Yeah.
just like the quickest one I could think of. It's like you learn something new about somebody and have to recontextualize everything else you know about them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's still the kind of thing where the mom would have to actually be there for her four kids during that grieving process, and she would have to like be able to talk to them about that, and that won't be able to happen unless she herself has like
Started to heal.
from.
Yeah.
And that's if she chooses. How do I say this? If she knows her own kids enough to know that they're not gonna have the nuance to just basically
They're
like
not going to react well to their old sweet dad being made out to be the villain of the last decade. Yeah.
right, yeah. And if they are sweet and sensible, fucking like they might be like, oh, you know, it's terrible that he did that, but you know, he still gave me a good childhood, you know. I can still love what he did for me, what he meant for me, how he was there for me and stuff, you know. It's the kind of thing where I can't give advice to her unless she can feel comfortable with those. Like, I guess that's my advice. Like examining, like, all right, can my kids handle this? Are they like really the type of person to do that? And to make that decision after therapy.
Yeah. Honestly, my advice is I have no advice, and I commend this woman for having to experience everything she did, not only with like higher pursuit of education at a later age in life, and then the cancer diagnosis, and then her husband dying, and then learning all this 3.5 years later. This woman has had the last fucking decade from hell. Like it's been a tough ride for this woman, and she's still trying to be, selfless in her decision to not tell her kids.
So fucked up.
Yeah, man, this is one of the most depressing ones I think we've ever done. But on the flip side of that, we're going to try to flip it into a positive. She is one of the most badass bitches to ever do it. So,
like, yeah, like I genuinely thought, how the fuck did she do this? How did she do that? Oh, it seemed like such a fucking spy thriller already. I'm not doubting the story. I'm just saying that like it sounded so much like, wow, the plot is really carrying on. Like, whoa. Like, what a twist for her. That must have been a big twist for her.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, even in death, your spouses continue to play fucking jokes on you, except this joke was a shitty joke, man. Shitty joke.
The part that really got me was like the fact that like, okay, let's say the girlfriend, like the fucking the one he cheated on, the cheater, let's fucking, I don't know, whatever.
You mean the hot psycho, 15 years his junior, who was trying to get some money from an old man trying to get his dick wet?
She went to the funeral and she signed a little book there too, and the kids saw her, like her grown kids, the mother's grown kids saw her there. So that was the sweetest thing, that she even apologized to the mother. That I feel like she got everything she needed from there.
No, you think it's sweet that psycho showed up to his fucking funeral the way she did, knowing the
not to the funeral, No. I think it's sweet
that
I think it's sweet that she apologized, not sweet that she went to the funeral. That's not what I meant.
The woman who had the baby didn't apologize to this woman.
Oh,
The
really?
HR lady she talked to at her husband's old company said, I'm sorry that we let this,
Oh.
I'm sorry that nobody told you that this happened. And I'm sorry
Um,
that this woman showed up to the funeral. We literally like carried her out to the fucking exit because we thought it was super inappropriate that she was there, given that they were all like, oh, everyone knows except his wife and kids. So
okay,
yeah, no, this lady's a true fucking, like, I don't want to say psycho. It's not a cool word to use. Bitch is a psycho. Call her a bitch. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now it's okay. It's not the first time I've looked stupid on the internet. It's okay.
Hey man, story of my life. That's all we do here. Now that Noah's uncomfortable for me using the B word about ladies, make sure that you like the video, comment down below about how much this just like depressed you. This is a depressing story, man. I feel bad, but also like inspired by how fucking selfless and badass a woman could be. Like this lady also like deserves a lot of praise too. I feel genuinely. I wouldn't be able to deal with any of these things if this happened to me. If the shoe was on the other foot for me, man, no thanks. Nuh-uh. Just give me the cancer next time. Like the video, and we'll see you tomorrow for another Am I the Asshole? Although I'm told that the original post has been deleted, I do have a pretty good recollection of what this post was, so I'm going to be doing it from my own memory. So tune in for that. It's going to be a blast.
Don't be about cheek. Boom.